Here we're talking about Uganda. Uganda was governed by the Constitution #1. Then the laws, Presidential Election Act. Am I outside the Presidential Election Act? No. Was I stopped outside the Presidential Act? Definitely yes. Was it wrong? Yes, it is wrong. And that is why I continue to fight. I continue to seek justice, that I am restored and I be able to put my message to the people of Uganda. And I'm not tired of doing that. I'm using every means possible, because even how it was not done through legal or proper channels, it was done other means. So I'm using the same means to try and put pressure that I'm back on the ballot. That's the most I can say. Yes, sir. We're back.
I'm sorry if I'm going to sound prideful, but
when the two kings, Kabalega and Mwanga, were running from Kakungulu and the British, they landed in the hands of Obote's grandfather. Obote's grandfather is the one who received them and guided them to Dokoro, where the leaders of Lamu had chosen to defend the kings. And those kings were defended for 4 years in Lamu. So those who may not know history, Kabaka Mwanga and Omukama Kabalega were defended by Lamu for 4 years against the British and Kakunguru, until eventually they were captured, exiled, and sent to Seychelles. Is anyone interested in that history? So before these things were coming to the 60s, it was there. But now in the 60s, there are those who want to look at the water in one light about the 66 crisis. Then there are people like me who want to defend his legacy and look at it purely on what he delivered to Uganda. Both are true to some extent. But for me, in an election, I am riding on the legacy of what he was able to deliver. If I talk about health services in Uganda, there is no better record of health services than under Milton Obote in the late 60s. We like it, we don't like it, it is a success. Hospitals were built. Staff were well catered for. Education system expanded massively. Construction. You look at Kampala skyline. This building had started in the 60s. Next building, Jam Towers, which is a Uganda commercial bank. Apollo Hotel. A lot of these buildings came up in the 60s. Uganda was thriving in the 60s. That's the legacy of Obote also. Now today, when we don't have hospitals, we have hospitals without medicines. We have an education system where some kids are not going to make it even if they're brilliant. Don't you think we need some of that back in the equation? We have parents who struggle to make ends meet. UPC had programs with the cooperatives, the farmers were able to make ends meet. Don't you think we need that discussion as we go into 2026? That is what we bring as UPC. If you want to get stuck on one item, it is your choice. But if somebody like that says he's a supporter of Chapulani, and then he wants to undermine saying that, no, Chapulani should not go, you think there are no voters in Lamu? There are voters in Lamu. There are voters everywhere in Uganda. You cannot afford to alienate anybody. Let's be honest. The ones who are pushing this fight, I know who they are. The ones who are scared. The ones who will try to make sure that Akena cannot be on the ballot. So, any movement, anything, whatever, they start reacting, they try to polarize the society. Why do we need it now? If I look around this room, let me see. I don't think that maybe there are 2 or 3 people who were born in 66. I was not alive. As old as grey as I am, I was not alive in 1966. And you want that to dominate the conversation today? Conversation today should be how we should deal with tomorrow. How we can create a future, how we can live together in this Uganda. And I think what I demonstrated together with Bobby Wine, we should be given a good clap. We should be able to live in Uganda even if we have different political ideologies. I come from a left or center, and my policies are completely different from many other parties, but I do have the foresight to be able to sit down and look at Uganda as bigger than all of us. And that is what I will fight for. That's what I'll struggle for. That's why I'm fighting be on the ballot. But I'm not afraid to call out somebody who is not doing straight or who's messing things up. And I've called them out. And I'll let us have an honest, free election. You accuse of voter of rigging election, now you have Akena voted here. Let him stand. If the people of Uganda want to ostracize Akena, feel free. I've been here 20 years. I've lived amongst you. And you think, where's my mother from? I'm a child of Uganda.
Yes.
So, do I wish anybody bad? No. Do I wish anybody what happened to my grandparents? No. But now we must have a legacy where Ugandans move forward. For a long time we talked about truth and reconciliation. People don't want truth, they want propaganda, and blame people. Blame this one. Oh, the problem is because of this, the problem is because of UPC. UPC has been out of power for 40 years. Is UPC still the problem? It cannot be. We are still struggling with very simple things which UPC solved and can solve again. That is why I want to do this election.